my phone died. Literally, I woke up this morning and like my phone's working just fine, and then it dies. Can you believe that? Seriously, I mean, listen, no day is ever perfect, but up until this morning, I would you'd be hard pressed for me to find any kind of low, and yeah, my phone died. But I charge it. It's about somewhere between 30 to 40% charge at the moment, which is plenty of time for me to, get this video done. So that's a good thing. Let's see, my high is, it's funny. I didn't think I'd be talking about this many shows in a row, but I guess I'm gonna have to do that because, I just talked about Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish. I just talked about Batman Caped Crusader. Technically, I did talk about the Saiyan saga on Dragon Ball. So, and now I'm doing Solar Opposites Season 5. Which, it's kind of, I know I really haven't been doing the greatest job of talking about Solar Opposites. Especially when, a lot of people are going to look at the animation and think it's Rick and Morty. But I'll get to that in a second. But my highest I watched, I pretty much, actually I didn't, I absolutely did. I binged all of Season 5 of Solar Opposites. And my act of kindness was, I emptied the dehumidifier for my folks. I helped empty and clean the dishwasher. It was a pretty, it was supposed to be an eventful Monday, but the thing I had yesterday afternoon was actually really scheduled for next Monday. So that's relieving. That's actually quite relieving. So now my week doesn't seem as busy. I still have something going on every afternoon this week, but at least it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, folks. And now let's get to talking about Solar Opposites. So, way back in, was it like 2020 I talked about Solar Opposites Season 1? I don't remember. But if you don't know what Solar Opposites is, it was created by some of the people behind Rick and Morty. Particularly a certain someone who used to voice Corvo, and Rick and Morty for that matter. I'm not even sure it's okay to talk about him at this point, because I haven't seen or heard him do anything. Hold on. Let me get my notes out real fast. Okay, so created by some of the people that made Rick and Morty, and unlike Rick and Morty, which is a show on Adult Swim, so you really could get away with, you couldn't really necessarily get away with a lot of stuff, like they still gotta bleep out some swear words and stuff like that. Solar Opposites is on Hulu. And they get away with saying practically everything under the sun. And on top of that, because it's on Hulu and therefore, not really under the normal television guidelines, because Hulu is a streaming service, they are vastly aware, and they have made jokes on the fact that this is a sitcom. Right down to the end of this season, they literally ring a bell saying, nothing bad happened this season. So season 5 really was a lot of the same. I mean, when season 4 ended, spoiler alert, the solar opposites have lived on Earth so long without fulfilling their mission, which I'll get into in a second, that they become human, so they have to leave Earth, go to another planet for a while, and then they change back to normal. For those of you who don't know, their planet was a planet Schlorp that got destroyed by an asteroid. So, they and 99 other ships had to go to different planets and escape it to the space. The intro is actually really funny. So they land on Earth, and basically they have this little creature called the pupa, which will help terraform Earth into a new planet Schlorp, is how it works. And also, again, this is very, this show is very self-aware. So, they really weren't as, in your face as talking about it as they are now. But their answer for everything is literally saying sci-fi shit. They say sci-fi shit and they come up with said sci-fi shit and then they get things done. Which is hilarious. And this season had a lot of really great moments. I mean, there was literally one episode dedicated to old school Looney Tunes. I'm not going to give away what happens, but it was exactly, right down to having, an orchestra playing. It was awesome. And not to mention, the B and the C plots of this show carry a lot of weight, too. I mean, there's the stuff about, this guy named Glenn, who the solar opposites launched into space and then becomes a silver cop, which is essentially a parody on Green Lantern. But the silver cops are crooked, so this season, he re-infiltrated the silver cops to try and get revenge, but things go wrong, but then he runs to the gold cops, now he's a gold cop now. So literally, you're just like, oh shit, Glenn's a gold cop now. That was just funny to me. And I have to talk about The Wall. I mean, every season, I don't know what the writers are doing as far as getting stuff done, but kudos to making everything about The Wall that much more interesting. Because it's incredibly interesting. I mean, The Wall has some of if you don't know what The Wall is, basically, Yumulak and Jesse shrink people down to their tiny size. They put them in the wall, and it's kind of like pets and stuff like that. And that's a series in and of itself. Seriously, you could almost make a show based entirely on The Wall. I mean, they don't, but I wish they did. And this season took them, because they figured out how to escape the wall, so now everyone's living in the backyard. Because remember, they're tiny, there's nothing they can do. So they pretty much turned the backyard into a literal Wild West. And it's just funny and interesting, and season 5 really was more of the same. So, I mean, look, it's pretty obvious if you're even a little bit of a fan of Rick and Morty, you definitely gotta watch Solar Opposites. That's a given. Of course, now I have to bring up the, obviously, much like with Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland was also a huge part of the show. In fact, again, he was the voice of Corvo. But for those of you who don't know, he got himself into some trouble that, honestly, to this day, he's pretty much all but proven he didn't do anything. But as long as he's been under that kind of scandal, he he wants to kind of stay away from it for a while. So Dan Stevens replaced him as a Corvo. I mean, they made a joke at the beginning of season 4 regarding the new voice, because what they did was smart. Basically, Corvo gets injured in like the throat, and obviously he's gonna die unless they use a sci-fi ray, basically a voice modulator to fix everything. And now Dan Stevens is voicing Corvo, and Yumulak, voiced by Sean Giambrone, says, "Yeah, no one's ever gonna notice." Actually, shout out to Thomas Middleditch, Sean Giambrone, and Mary Mack. Like, the cast of this show is awesome. I mean, they got a lot of voiceover actors too, don't get me wrong. But, again, the people I just mentioned, Dan Stevens has done a great job of voicing Corvo. Tiffany Haddish as Aisha, who's essentially the ship's intelligence service. It's just a good show, man. It is. And honestly, I think this is the most involved Aisha's been in terms of like writing and dialogue for the show, because she was in quite a few episodes this season. It was actually it was good. It's a funny show. So yeah, if you like Rick and Morty and you actually have access to Hulu, check out Solar Opposites. All 5 seasons are on Hulu right now, so it's definitely possible to check it out. Actually, one of the better episodes of the season was obviously I mentioned they have a lot of sci-fi shit, and one of them is a what if button. Basically, you press the button, ask what if, and boom, that reality happens. And they do a play on it where someone already pressed the what if button, meaning literally everything about the show so far has been somebody's what if. Which is absolutely crazy. I don't want to give away whose what if it was, because they're clearly building into season 6, which, I mean, listen, I know recently they just teased season 6. Solar Opposites is a really popular show. By the way, in case anyone's wondering, no, neither Rick and Morty or Solar Opposites have anything to do with one another. I mean, both shows are very self-aware, and who knows? Maybe one giant finale would be if there was a massive crossover, but I don't think they would ever really do it. It would be interesting, though. So, it's a great show. I liked it a lot. It was definitely something to talk about, considering that Hot One Season 25 is over. Yeah. Wow, look at it all go. So, yeah. Don't really have much else to talk about. As far as I know, my phone hasn't died yet. So I think I did a pretty solid job of charging it within like just over half hour it's been trying to recharge. I don't get it. Like, very clear I need a new phone charger for nighttime. I had to use this. This one goes into my computer, so it charges everything almost just like that. So it looks like I'm going to have to be careful with how things work for a while until I get to the bottom of this. Anyway, honestly, my day, really nothing's going on this morning. It's just the afternoon. Again, every afternoon this week, I have something going on. But thankfully, this is, at least what's going on this afternoon is something I'm very much looking forward to. So, yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to look forward to it. That's it. Don't really have, sorry this video seems kind of, I did talk about Solar Opposites Season 5, so it's not like there was nothing to talk about. I actually kind of amazed myself. I binge watched this entire season in a day. Some shows like that 90 Show and stuff, I was able to do that. But after it's done, I'm like, wow, I can't believe. Well, it's easy to do it for a bunch of half-hour episodes. So it's not like it's hard to do. But, again, Solar Opposites. The first 5 seasons are on Hulu right now. I've been following the season. Sorry I haven't really been doing a good job. I did season 1. I didn't do season 2, 3, and 4 to my knowledge. Or maybe I did, I just forgot. So, listen, 5 seasons in, Solar Opposites is still going on strong. I don't know when we're going to get season 6, but when we do get it, I'm definitely going to be there to watch. And I hope you are too. I hope you all like this video. If you like this video, YouTube channel, follow social media. As always, I'm here on this video. For all you guys watching, Joe for hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Oh, happy Tuesday, folks. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk, channel is here to let me know who's your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.